All right. So, I mean, it's still December 20th. I don't know. I was spitting. I'm lonely. I guess I guess like that's the honest truth. What the fuck? I really just be living alone, doing shit alone all the time, forever, my whole life, for the most part. Uh, I don't even really know like what I want to talk about. Like this is so. I mean, like I filmed this one on this Handycam. This is the process though. Like I have to play it back in real time to actually record it to make it digital to actually be able to like upload it anywhere. Anyway, I was about to watch Dragon Ball Daima, and I will. But like I don't know. I just wanted to. I just felt like there was like more to say, but I don't want to ramble too much. So like, let's see if I could like pick a topic and like stick with a topic. So I probably should have picked the topic before I like started doing this anyway. Like, I don't fucking know what I'm doing. Um, let's see, right? So single, virgin, forever alone, 35 years? Like really? Like that's crazy, right? Uh, bear with me. I'm just trying to like find the topic right now. Uh, so you know, it's not all sunshine and rainbows being a virgin at 35. I think, I mean, like I was saying in the previous video that I just recorded, it's like fun sometimes, you know? You can like impress people in a sense. Like they'd be like, wow, one day you'll find somebody for sure. Like you're gonna find somebody, it's gonna be great, you know? They say all that stuff. And it's not like I don't believe them, you know? It just hasn't happened yet. But, you know, I'm still trying to find the topic. It's, it's a thing. It happens, I guess. I don't know how frequently it happens. I feel like I don't really run into a lot of people that like make it all the way to like their 30s and are still virgins or have never had some sort of relationship. I guess like maybe that's the topic, right? Maybe that's the topic for this video. And like I should probably plan these things out more and think about them more. But like what kind of person, right? Like what kind of person does it take to become a 35-year-old virgin? 35 and a half. Get it right. Put some respect on my age. And I guess like this is like just a thing to think about, you know? It's just like how do you get there, right? How do you get to the point where like you're like way older than like your experience and your age don't match, you know what I'm saying? Like everyone at your age, whatever age that is, whether you be in your later teens or you're in your early 20s or you're in your 30s or whatever, but you're noticing that like I mean frankly dude, like growing up, like even in middle school, frankly, like when I was in, I'm trying to think, when was the first like I'm trying to think like when was the first time that I noticed that I can remember that like a friend of mine, like one of my own peers, one of my own friends had a girlfriend. I want to say like maybe not fifth grade, like definitely in fifth grade, there were definitely a lot of guys hitting on girls and a lot of crushes and stuff flying back and forth. And I feel like maybe honestly that's kind of, I don't know, that's a different topic. I don't know if I want to get into that per se exactly. But like basically I want to say honestly by 7th or maybe 8th grade for me, which was like a long time ago, like 2002. I started high school in 2003. So like 2001, 2002, literally the turn of the fucking century, the new millennium. Internet's still becoming a thing. We're still using dial-up mostly, but like starting to get into DSL and broadband internet where you can use the internet and not tie up the phone lines at the same time. Ooh, like actually, like I'm making fun of it now, but like back then, bro, that was fucking crazy. Like that was fucking crazy, dude. My mom used to be on the phone all the freaking time. And so if I was on the internet and she'd pick up the phone trying to make a phone call, and like she'd be like, "Oh, Dave, like I need to make a phone call," and I have to get off the freaking AOL, you know what I'm saying? That's what it used to be like. It used to be like that. Like using the internet was like a trade-off. Like yeah. Using the internet was a trade-off. Like you couldn't use the internet and use the phone. And the phone was so much more important because we didn't really have text messaging yet. I'm not really trying to make a video about being an old ass motherfucker, but it feels like it's becoming that. But like seriously though, back in those days, right? Back in that time, I feel like that's when I first remember some of my own friends actually being like, "Oh, I had sex for the first time," or "I had a near sex like experience," or I'm dating, and like you know what I mean. Like when you're that young and dating, like honestly, that used to be maybe one of my kind of excuses in a sense. I don't mean it like that, really, but like kind of right, like yeah. That used to be something I literally felt, and I don't know if people even feel this way or think this way anymore. But like, I used to literally be like, what's the point in dating or having a girlfriend when I gotta ask my mom to like drive me? Like, I think a lot of my like current problems, a lot of my current virginity, singleness, I think a lot of it stems from a lot of like insecurity about like revealing to my mom exactly what kind of girl I like or something, you know? Like I think I grew up in particular. No, my mom didn't like it's not really all the way her fault. Like yeah, she played a role in it, but like she was never really serious about this. What I'm getting at here is like my mom when she found something entertaining or cute about me or kind of funny or quirky about me, she would like kind of giggle and laugh at me. But not like obviously from a place of love, but like I took it personally as like a my mom's like making fun of me, right? That's how it felt, right? It felt like my mom is mocking me or making fun of me a little bit. I knew that she meant it, but I basically wanted to avoid her knowing me, right? Like the true me in a sense, right? I didn't really want her to know what kind of girls I like or even their names or anything. I didn't want her to be like, "Oh, she's kind of cute." I didn't want any of that kind of embarrassing talks. I didn't want her to know the girl or meet the girl until I was ready for that to happen or whatever. So thinking about trying to date a girl in 7th or 8th grade or even early high school when I can't drive, it's like, well, I'm probably going to have to ask my mom to pick you up, right? Like my mom's basically going to like take me over to your house. We're going to pick you up. Then my mom will take us to the movie theater. And then my mom will pick us up from the movie theater. And if we're going to go eat somewhere, she's going to take us to the restaurant. And then more than likely, either she's going to be giving me the money or like she'll just be there with us. Like all of this mom involvement in the dating part was so... I was just like, I don't know why the fuck you would even want to start this shit yet, man. I don't really care to do any dating until I'm like independent. like truly independent. Like until I could pay for the dates, until I can drive and pick you up myself without having to run anything by my mom. Like I could basically just be like, "Hey mom, I'm going out with some friends. I'll see you later tonight." Like I wanted to wait until I was at that point. I wanted to wait until I felt like I could do it all, basically. Like I'm a grown ass man, essentially. That's what I was waiting for. The problem is anime and video games. And so basically, like I was always kind of like holding off, and I think probably you already know where this is going. Like a lot of that was honestly just insecurity, right? I didn't want my mom to possibly make fun of me or interject her opinion on the girl or my choice in women or any sort of thing like that. I really wanted to avoid anything like that as much as possible in regards to my mom. But then in regards to the girl, I also didn't want her to think like like basically feeling maybe some type of way about my mom having to do all that for me. And I guess also at the same time, right? Being especially like I started getting kind of chubby around like fourth grade. And from there, my weight just kind of steadily continued to rise as the years would go by. And so I guess like basically between that and my interests and like even among my peers, I feel like especially the lack of being into sports really made it a lot different for me, right? Like I didn't have that like usual typical masculine pull to me that even some of my peers that were equally nerdy but just also were either playing sports or were fans of sports had, right? So they had better, maybe not necessarily like I only had like a few friends, a couple of friends. Most of my friends basically were also kind of chubby, kind of heavier or something like that. But like basically maybe a little bit more athletic to where it wasn't maybe off-putting or like you would call them chubby. It's just like, well, they're not fit or they're not skinny, but they're just kind of average build or something. Or maybe they were in good shape. And so they'd be more confident from that. But like basically, I was like really, it's kind of funny. Like I wasn't a full nerd in the sense that like I was like, like I didn't have like glasses or anything. I was like the class clown, but I was like the smart class clown. It was like a weird archetype that I fit into at the time, where it's like, yeah, like I'm into the nerdy stuff, but I'm a funny guy. I have a fun personality. Um, like I've made people laugh and smile a lot. But at the end of the day, it's like I'm over here thinking Gundam Wing and Outlaw Star and Toonami shit and whatever games at the time. Dreamcast games, PS1 games, Game Boy Advance games, right? I'm all over the Pokemons. Nothing wrong with this. I still love this shit to this day. Maybe that's part of my problem. But, meanwhile, my friends, they'd be like into that stuff too. And then they would still have the drive to go talk to a girl or, eventually maybe date or maybe do a little bit more than just dating. And so I guess like the theme of this video, I guess, is like what leads to this? How do you get here? How do you become an old single virgin? You know? And I think a lot of it really just comes down to, like, in my particular case, I guess like insecurity, but like beyond just insecurity, right? It's one thing to be like, oh, girls probably won't be into me or whatever, or I kind of keep losing to guys that are like, honestly, at the time, it's like you couldn't really be a buff guy per se, right? Especially back then, like in middle school, yeah, we had some guys that were athletic more so, but like I didn't really feel like they were more successful with girls or anything. They just seemed cooler to me as a guy in a sense, right? It's like, oh, well, he's not a nerd. But I didn't necessarily feel like all the girls were like crawling over the guys that I'm thinking of that are like the more athletics, like they were more the athletic stars of my little class or whatever. Not really, right? Um But for me, it's like, I guess, like, I was insecure, right? I was insecure about my ability to provide, right? An ability to be independent and not have my mom hovering over every little thing and possibly making fun of me for it. I'd have to hear about it later. So how'd your date go? I'm not trying to talk about my date with you, mom. Now, rest in peace, mom. She's no longer here. So that's actually a regrettable thing that I have literally no experience. Like, that was literally something I had to say to my mom while she was on her deathbed, basically, right? Like, I guess, like, ooh, this is getting heavy now. I don't mean it to be a bad thing. I don't mean it to be a heavy thing, really. But maybe just, hey, just consider this, right? Just consider this. If you do have a parent or parents, and you love them, and you know, I think every parent probably wants to see their child have romantic success, because romantic success is what led to the creation of that child, right? Like, it's a natural thing to want to see your offspring do well romantically, I think, right? And yeah, it's cute, and you can maybe like have some fun with them and poke fun at them and stuff like that. But I guess, like, I definitely had to think about that part, right? If you're the offspring and you care at all about, making your parents proud or anything like that, consider the fact that if you're holding back on dating and such out of insecurity on your part, um, but you want to make your parents proud, consider the fact that you may not have the chance to make them proud in their lifetimes, uh, and with the remainder of their lifespan, within the remainder of their lifespan, if you keep this up. Just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. I don't mean that to be a threat. I don't mean that to be a bad thing. But it's like, I guess I'm talking to whatever subsection of people have that thought, right? Like, and maybe not even pressure from their parents, but just more like an internal pressure to want to do that for their parents, right? If you have any thought like that at all, where you're like, I can't wait to show my mom or dad or parents, like, I would love to bring a good guy or girl home to them. I would love to, give them grandchildren and stuff like that. But I'm really shy. I'm really insecure. I got this weight problem. I got this money problem. And it's just not going to happen anytime soon. So sorry, mom. Sorry, dad. No grandkids for you. It's all about me. And I just don't have it in me to take the steps that I need to take to do the things that I want to do, but I just don't feel like doing or feel like I can do. Sorry, just consider the fact that you may lose out on that. That was a complete tangent. What I'm really getting to is what I just said, which is the fact that for me, I think, how did I get to 35 and a half years of single virginity? I think a lot of it is the insecurity, and then like this compounding, this Ouroboros of insecurity, where I'm insecure to the point that I feel insecure about my ability to fix my insecurity. Does that make sense? Right? I feel like I'm so in the hole that it would be too much. And honestly, I spent the majority of my 20s in this phase. I spent the majority of my 20s in this phase of like, I'm so overweight, I'm so broke, I'm so hopeless in this regard. What? It would take more effort. It would take so much effort. It would take a Herculean effort to fix the problems that I have, to fix my insecurities, and then actually start dating and stuff like that. That's how it felt. Honestly, some days I wake up now, even after having made some decent success. Now I have some money. Now I have, a more attractive, whatever going on, right? I've cleaned up my skin a lot because I actually wash my face and put fucking moisturizer and exfoliate and shit now. This is shit that I used to be like, oh, you do all of that and you're a guy? You know, like, oh, who wants to do all of that? You know, I actually fucking shave and shit, you know. I need to get a haircut, but like I actually have a haircut that like kind of actually frames my face pretty well. You know, I've gotten a lot thinner and I look a lot better in clothes. Maybe not without the clothes so much, but like even after making all this effort, still to get to the point that I feel like I really want to be at to achieve what I really want to do, sometimes I'd be like, God damn, bro. I've been at this like improving part for like 2 years now, basically, and I still got so far to go. Honestly, because I'm going slowly in a lot of ways because of this kind of like holdover of this mentality of like I'm so in the hole that I don't think I can get myself out of this. And I think like that is worth exploring for yourself. I don't want to go I don't want to go too deep into this cuz I'm a rambler, I'm a yapper as they say these days, right? But like yeah, how do you get to 35 years of being here? And I think it's because for me at least, it's like 35 years I guess like what is that, like 16 and a half, 17ish years, probably like half of my life has been in this phase of like I can't do shit about it. You know, like basically like like this feeling of just like that's a lot of fucking work, man, to lose weight and get in shape, to make the kind of money that a girl would actually be like, oh yeah, you know, like you seem like a good provider type, or like, you know, oh yeah, I'm willing to like tie myself down to you and let's raise a family off of that income, you know. Like the thought of actually getting to the point that I feel like girls are probably holding me to, which a lot of them are, maybe not me specifically, but like men, right? Like it feels like it's too much to do and it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. Not for the girl part. Like it's not like girls aren't worth it. It's more like I'm going to do all this shit and I'll still fail most likely. Right? It was more about me being like, I don't think I'm up to the challenge. I don't think I'm up to the task of getting myself to that point. I don't know how every other guy is, but me, even though I feel I would like to consider myself a pretty intelligent guy, well spoken, can be funny, can be humorous, right? I have a lot of good qualities, but they're buried under a lot of they're buried under a fat sack of shit, basically, is how it feels, right? You know, and it's like, ugh. But it's not worth it, you know? And I guess like the point that I'm really trying to make is like, if that's you, if that sounds relatable to you, like at 35 and a half years old and having made some significant progress where, if I could be honest, right? And I'll be honest. I think that's the point, right? I think I need to be real about this. I would never, I don't know if I ever really thought that I was like ugly, right? I think honestly, you know, like I would look in the mirror and like for half of my life, I'd look in the mirror and be like, I'm not ugly, right? I'm kind of goofy looking, I'm kind of funny looking, but I'm not ugly. One day I'm going to lose this weight and one day I'm going to look kind of sexy, I think. Probably, maybe, hopefully. Right? And I just wouldn't do anything with that. I'd be like, but I bet if I were skinnier, I bet if I were in good shape, I bet if I don't really have, I mean, like, I kind of have a sense of style now, but, like, not really. Honestly, the way I dress, I really aim to just be, like, a manga or anime character. Like, I don't give a fuck about designer clothes. Like, I can't even pretend to give a fuck about them, really, you know? But if I can look like some kind of anime character to some degree, right? I mean, already kind of hard to do when you're black. Like that is honestly kind of tough to like just straight up look like a black anime character when you're black, because like most anime characters are not black. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to actually do, in the purest sense. But like getting close to that, you know what I'm saying? Getting close to some kind of aesthetic that kind of looks kind of cool, like that Japanese streetwear ish. I guess adjacent. Um, you know, it takes a lot of effort to get to a decent place with your self image and your actual external and physical image too. And like I think a lot of it comes down to just feeling like it's not worth that effort. It takes a lot of effort, and you just feel like I don't want to put it in. And I think what the original thought was, and I guess the moral of this story is, if that's you, I want you to realize, if you're one of these, oh, I'm 19 and I've never dated before, thank your fucking lucky stars that you're only 19. And if you have any issues like this, if you have any self-image issues like this that are holding you back, or even maybe external to that, right? Like, the sooner you get started, the better. Whatever that means to you, right? Whether it be just getting experience. I don't have any experience. Like, I've made some progress where now I look in the mirror and I'm like, actually, I bet, and I think I've even probably experienced this these days, to some degree, where I think girls probably do look at me. Some girls, not all, right? I'm probably not attractive to every single woman on the planet, but when I look at myself in the mirror now, I'm like, honestly, I don't know if I even have to continue to try to get in shape or fix my image before I start dating, like before I start feeling like I'm good enough. I think I'm good enough. Could I be better? Oh, yeah, much better. But I think I'm good enough now. That's what I feel when I look at myself in the mirror. I'm like, actually, bro, you look kind of cool. You look kind of tight. Right? You know? Obviously, I got some work to do. I got this big ass fucking wrinkly ass forehead and shit like that. I got this big ass nose. People say I look like a black Mario brother. But like I'm getting there, And I guess like that's the problem, right? That's I guess what I'm trying to warn you against. If you're on the younger end of all this, like get started, please. Please get started. Please get started as soon as possible fixing whatever it is you got to fix, whether it be your lack of experience, like as much progress as I've made, to the point where I feel like I bet some girls probably look at me and like, damn, he kind of fine. As much progress as I've made, I still have no experience. You know what I'm saying? I still have no experience. 35 and a half years old and I've never gone on a date. That's rough. Like, I'm gonna be shy. I'm gonna be sweating, like I discussed in the previous video, where I'm gonna be like, holy shit, this is fucking crazy. I might not be so bad now, right? I might actually be able to carry that confidence that I feel in myself into a date, right? Things might not be so bad, but it's still a lot to think about doing because I know I've never been on a date. Meanwhile, the person I might be dating, I might be, I don't even fucking know. I don't know what's a normal number of dates to have gone on with somebody, much less what's a normal amount of relationships to have been in. Oh, I have no clue, dude. I have no frame of reference for that shit. Makes me wish I'd got started earlier. At least just dating, just trying the shit, right? Same with the, like, glow up journey or whatever you want to call it, right? Self-improvement journey. The sooner you get started, the better. And the sooner you stay consistent with it, the better. I've gotten on and off and on and off of fitness journeys multiple times over the last, we'll just say 15 years. Because I really wasn't trying to do shit before I was 20, really, honestly. I wasn't really thinking about much at the time. But like since then, I've realized like, okay, I should lose weight, right? So then I get into like walking, maybe going to the gym a couple times here and there, and like just never really stuck with it, right? Which would just allow me to continue to stew in this like feeling of like not knowing what the fuck to do or not feeling confident in myself. One day when I'm a lot thinner, a lot better shape, then I'll be able to do shit like that was all I would say, and I would never pursue it. There's other things to unpack there too that are, I guess, more personal to me. But like, the point being, I didn't have to go, we'll just say when I was 25, you know? Honestly, I want to say that I had like, I think I had the biggest mindset shift probably around 22 to 24. I think that's what set me on the path that I currently am on now, where I feel pretty mentally and spiritually mature in a lot of different ways. Like I learned a lot of lessons. I just didn't really start implementing them until like 32. Yeah, right? It like took me like 10 years to actually start implementing shit that I was learning back when I was like 22, you know? Learning a lot more like about stoicism or about like the art of war, but like there's this one translation of the art of war that I picked up, and it's really cool. Like I really like it. Basically, it's like the art of war is not really about how to like destroy enemies. It's about how to win wars, but like without destroying your enemy. Like ultimately, your enemy is just other people, right? So like just imagine like if you're trying to conquer a country, right? If you're trying to like capture a territory, like how can you do that without killing all of the citizens or killing enough of the citizens or destroying enough of it to where inevitably they'll revolt, right? How can you win a war and take over a country in such a way that actually they'll be like, holy shit, this new guy is great. This new king that just took over. Yeah, he killed a few people. Yeah, we starved for like a couple months. Um, but he didn't kill us all and he didn't destroy all our buildings. This is actually kind of awesome. Yeah, he's like way better than the last guy. Like, how can you do that? I feel like that's what this version of the Art of War that I read was trying to push, that Sun Tzu was trying to say. I was learning mindsets like that. How can you be a gentle conqueror? I don't know how else to kind of put it. How can you like do things that are like win-win, right? You win the war, but they win because you won the war, if that makes sense, right? How can you do things like that? I was studying shit like that. I was studying the fucking, Book of Five Rings, Musashi, like a lot of like mental like game type of shit, and really didn't start really truly implementing it to my advantage, aside from just coming across as like a nice or intelligent guy, until like 10 years later. If you got some shit to work on, start working on it. Boy or girl, man or woman, whoever the fuck you are, please just get started on whatever the hell you got to do so that you can get out of this rut, because it's all on you ultimately. It's all on me ultimately to fix whatever issue you have. And why wait? Why wait any longer? And I guess like particularly if you resonate with like that thought of like just being so in the hole that you don't feel like you can ever pull yourself out, you can definitely do it. It's just that's a more mental component. Like just realize that thought is literally a thought in your head, not reality. Like there's no situation that's like irreversible in terms of these kind of things, right? Like just because we'll just say overweight, like I was, like I still am, doesn't mean you can't lose weight. Like you can lose weight. You just have to like learn about diet, learn about exercise, learn about whatever it is you got to learn, and then implement it consistently. And then it doesn't even take that long. Honestly, I think I lost the majority of the weight that I've lost so far within the span of just like 3 months of just dieting to a normal degree. I figured out my, BMR with the calculator, and then I just like ate that, or like ate like a little bit below that, and probably did like some walking. Like I wasn't even, it wasn't even that crazy, honestly. I just like figured out some meals that I could enjoy. That's how I started. Like just as an example of like how simple it could be to make significant change. Like I literally was like, okay, that's my calorie thing, right? Those are my calories that I gotta hit or should hit if I'm trying to actually lose some weight here. Let me find some foods that I can do that with. Let me try to get more protein than not, I guess. I don't fucking know. I wasn't really concerned with that part as much when I first started losing this weight about, I guess it was 2 years ago. Like, I literally just figured out the calorie thing, and honestly, I lost the majority of the weight that I lost eating fucking waffles with like butter and syrup every morning. Like, and like a little I was pretty lazy about it. So like basically like a little omelet, like I would put like 2 eggs into like one of those like basically like omelet in a cup type of things that you could buy at the store, where you just mix it up with like some sausage and peppers and stuff like that. I was literally eating like waffles and eggs and stuff every day. I know there's some people that'll be like, "Oh, sweet stuff first thing in the morning. Oh, you're a little bitch." Whatever, dude. I like waffles in the morning, okay? So I had the protein waffles, and basically like this is the important part. I measured I took note of the calories, right? Okay, this much butter, right? Okay, let me use like only this much syrup, not like a whole lot of syrup, right? Like basically like keeping like tracking that part, and then just like kind of like setting my diet in stone. But like it was like with foods that I enjoyed, and just by doing that, and I guess like this is like a little hack, like something you might not realize, like the bigger you are, the higher your metabolism actually is. Like when you're fat, when you're fat, like you have to eat a lot to stay fat. So like really, if you just figure out what your BMR is and then just eat below that, and like just know that you're eating below that by like making sure, like you can't just guesstimate or whatever, like know for sure, like okay, this says like per serving 240 calories. Okay, cool, count those shits. But like you don't have to count them again if you kind of just eat the same thing all the time. So just figure it out like one good time and just like stick to that for like a month. You'll be surprised. You'll drop like probably like 10 pounds or something in a month, like almost borderline effortlessly, because you probably don't realize how much you're eating to stay as big as you are, if that's even your problem. But that's what I'm saying. It could be that simple. It could be as simple as just making a couple lifestyle changes. It could be as simple as just staying consistent with whatever it is you want to stay consistent with. And if you just do that, sooner rather than way later, as in like a decade fucking later, like me, you can actually have made significant progress, if not outright fixed whatever it is issue that you have that's holding you back from actually living life, the life that you actually want to live, as opposed to, I won't even call it a pale substitute, but like, like my current lifestyle now, being single forever, but like having fun, just chilling, is it's like the difference between like it's like a Coke versus a Coke Zero. You know what I mean? Like they taste kind of the same, but like it's not the same. You know what I'm saying? It's not really the same. Like the real thing tastes better, right? The real thing is better. If you could have the real thing, why not just have the real thing instead of having to like find coping mechanisms like pretending to have fun being single and a virgin forever. I don't really think I'm pretending, but like to a degree, it's a coping mechanism, right? It's something that I kind of had to like put in my head of like, okay, this is actually not so bad. I had to like change my mindset about it to even get to this point, right? But like, what if 10 years ago, when I realized, oh, I probably should lose weight to feel more confident, whatever it is, right? What if I actually did those things and stuck with it? I could be where I want to be right now, as opposed to being 35 and a half years old and hopefully one day getting to where I want to be one day, or not hopefully, and not just one day, but like, you know, like just way sooner than 30 fucking 5, like, you know, like right now it's like basically I'm on a race to like, can I even date by 40? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna lie, I want to have kids. I'd like to have kids someday. You know, I'm 35 and a half years old. So, and I want to have I want to have kids the right way. Okay, I don't want to just like get confident enough to go like hit on girls and then like have a one night stand and then get some girl pregnant and now I got a baby mama. Like, no. Like, for me, a little sappy moment right here, a little sappy little tearjerker right here. I want to have kids. I want to be a dad. You know, the dad that I never had. I have a lot of things that I had to learn and teach myself, more or less, that my dad wasn't around to teach me, right? So I want to do that. But like, time's a ticking, you know what I'm saying? Time's a ticking, brother. Like, soon enough, this is the timeline I always put in my head, right? Honestly, it's like a 5-year. Honestly, 5 years is pretty quick, right? I think a lot of people don't necessarily do all of this within 5 years. But like, let's just assume that today I had a girlfriend right now. Like, right from this moment, we look over here. Oh, my girl's right here. Oh shit, we're dating as of today, right? In my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm a Christian. I was raised, Christian, right? So I want to get married before I have a kid. Maybe not sex. I'm not gonna lie. I ain't gonna hold myself that long. But before having a kid, I'd like to be married and know that I'm bringing it into the world with a woman that I actually love and want to stick with, right? So to get to that point where I would actually want to date my girl, I feel like I need to have at least 2, if not 3 years of dating her to like vet her and for her to vet me. And it's like, we can actually see like, okay, we're cool, we're compatible. And then we'll just assume that we get married on year 3, right? But then, like, I don't want to be married and like, okay, cool, I have my partner for life now, let's immediately make a kid. Like, no. slow down. Like, I want to like live with her in the same place, like actually see how that works. I want to like enjoy being married and being like a sure thing, like together, and like go travel the world and have some fun with her and stuff like that first, right? I don't want to just jump right into parenthood. But like, now we're like 4 years, and remember, I'm 35 and a half. So like, honestly, in a more realistic timeline, this isn't going to start popping off. Like, she's not going to appear. She's not going to be right here until I'm 36, frankly. Like, let's be real, right? So the 4 year, like that timeline, like 3 years of dating, and somehow like we get married on exactly year 3. And then like at least a year of like being together for real. And then have a kid. But like at that point, I'm 41. Some 41, baby. I don't want to be a 41-year-old dad. That sounds terrible. That sounds fucking crazy. Or 40-year-old dad. Like, I mean, it's not actually that bad. Whenever I actually do the math, it's like, if I had a kid when I'm 40, by the time they're 20, I'll be 60. And it's like, oh, actually, is that really that bad? I mean, it's a little unusual. It's a little old. But if I get in better shape and stuff like that, then it won't actually be so old, I think, right? So there's some things to think about, but like still though, who really wants to be a 40-year-old dad? Like, wouldn't it be a lot cooler to be like a 30-year-old dad? Or maybe like a late 20-year-old dad or something? Like, well, too late now for me, but maybe you, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you, if you get your shit together, you might be able to achieve whatever relationship or family goals you have on a much tighter, shorter timeline and actually be able to enjoy that life with your life partner. Um, instead of like starting from your 30s and having to rush into and don't like, yeah, let's not forget the biological implications of that, right? So like if you're dating within like your age bracket, like your wife's eggs are cooking, you know what I'm saying? Like they're on a timer, egg timer. And so it's like maybe I don't have to be in a hurry, but if I'm dating a girl that's like anywhere near me in age, she's kind of in a hurry, right? Like if we're really trying to do kids together, like our own kids, biological kids, I got to think about her too, right? So like just I hope you see what I'm saying. I don't know how I'd be doing this rambling shit like this. Like it's kind of insane. But like the point is you can change your whole trajectory so dramatically in a lot shorter of a time than you might think. And if that's what it takes to like get you over this like hump and actually allow you to allow yourself to start enjoying and living life, do it ASAP, please. The longer you wait, the longer you prolong actually enjoying life to the way you actually want to do it. That's regardless of being a virgin or single or whatever. But if those are things that are meaningful to you, is actually having a partner and maybe having a little sex, the sooner you get started on doing whatever it is that will allow you to actually start engaging in that kind of stuff, the sooner you do that, the better. I think I should probably stop this video here. We're bordering on 50 minutes long. I'd be making whole fucking Netflix specials just rambling. I don't know how I do it. Anyway, love you. Uncle Dave, out. Did I not